Hello, CNG 132. Welcome back to Monday's new edition for our online class. Make sure you download the free VM Workstation Player, and there is access to my Google Drive with an ISO in it. Make sure to grab that. As I start reflecting on this week, let's make sure that we are getting the initial discussion posts done early and on time. I see that June 6th, if I go down here, uh, a little late. Let's try to make sure that these are in by Wednesday so that we have enough time to respond back to people so people aren't getting the half points for that. And once again, make sure to go back and do the two-person what do I want to say? Two-person feedback responses. Make sure they're substantial. Don't just say, "Hey, I like this." Um, why do you like it? Do you like it because it relates to you? Do you like it because you have experience with this? Make sure to turn that into at least 3 sentences for when you go back. The old video is still up, and it looks like I was addressing Kaplan in this. This week we do have a Kaplan test under test right here. And you should click this. 35 minutes, 35 questions. Should take you out to Kaplan, and then start the Kaplan exam if I set it up right. And it should work. Didn't work. There it goes. Okay, so you jump into test one and take the test. As it said, if we go back one screen here, 35 minutes, 35 questions. Remember that the tests themselves are only 5% of your grade. Not a huge margin there. And as we look at this, remember that I want you guys to get the score that you want to achieve walking out of this exam. So make sure that you get or take, I wouldn't say the preparation to get ready for these tests. This test one, is through chapters 1 through 4. So they'll only cover half of this week and weeks 1 and 2. The usual scores are around about, the mean is probably 85%. The highest I've seen is not quite perfect. The lowest I've seen is simply someone not taking it. But if you do forget to ever take a test, buying the Kaplan software rehearsal online is a way for you to boost those test scores and get this at a small percentage you want. When you go to the online bookstore, I'm trying to bring it up on this other screen. When you go to the online bookstore and get the Kaplan for this course, if you look in the syllabus, it tells you which one. This is the wrong one. Home. We want to do the SYO 501 exam right here. And this is what you'll use your universal code on, is this exam here, the SYO 501 exam simulation. Doing this rehearsal software prepares you for the actual Security Plus certification through CompTIA. Then you just hit the quick quiz. It gives you 90 questions that you go through. 3 database to ensure the entire location transaction must execute to ensure data integrity. If a portion of the transaction cannot complete, the entire action is not performed. Which database mechanism, security mechanisms are using? You could say it's concurrency, save points, aggregation, two-phase commit. Maybe we choose this one. When we go all the way to the end, I'm not sure it'll let us because I know a little bit's changed here. We click the submit button, and then we should be able to, oh, I guess you can't. So there were a button to actually submit this, but I see this has even changed a little bit. If you get a question wrong, you're able to, once after you do your submit, you're able to see exactly what you got wrong and why it was wrong, and correct your next iteration of this test. And the reason I use this Kaplan, formerly Transcender, is not only to prepare you guys, but like I said, if you miss a test at any point, this gives you a chance to get those points back and once again get that grade that you're looking for. The content for week 3 is chapter 4 and chapter 5. Chapter 4 is advanced cryptography, PKI infrastructure, public key infrastructure, networking, and is it server attacks? Book, chapter 5. I think it's networking and server attacks. Where we look at basic network attacks, start to look at server attacks. Yep, I was right. Where we get to see like ARP spoofing, DNS server, poisoning. You know, we get to see these different type of network attacks to where servers that clients connect to, they can actually be tainted by interacting with other servers, and the attack then is not only doing like a one person versus one computer, it's a server versus many computers. Back in 2000, I want to say it was like 13, there was a DNS poisoning that happened at a very high level where a root DNS server was corrupted and started redirecting everybody to sites that were not authentic sites. And then people would enter their information. Of course, right then it'd be stolen as soon as you typed in your username and your password. It's already gone. It's already saved. If I wrote a web page, I would just put after every entry, there's a save so that the dictionary would have the biggest possible turnout possible. Server-side attacks, DOS, DDoS, web application attacks. We look into cross-site scripting, SQL injection, hijacking sessions, overflow attacks where it actually doesn't attack against your RAM. So say right here, as we kind of found out with the virtual machines, they take RAM to execute any piece of software you have runs in RAM. So this browser right here of Chrome is in RAM. So if I were to open up a web page that has a overflow attack, that RAM that's allocated to this instance of Chrome would then start to, if there wasn't any protection set up, it would start to write to the hard drive, which then that portion of the hard drive is the executable, then that launches the attack here. Advertising attacks, browser vulnerabilities, once again, browser hijacking. I believe this one is malware, yeah, malvertising. So if you ever seen yourself look at Toro lawnmowers, and all of a sudden Toro lawnmowers are all over of what you see, that is a browser-based attack. But good job so far. Looks like we're still hanging in the 90s as a class. Make sure to check your assignments here, though, when you go to progress, go to grades. Don't go to activities and assignments. You always want to go to progress to check your grades, because activities assignments will only show you what you have submitted and a possible score, where progress grades will always show your name plus your score. Let me bring up something other than this on this other one. So progress grades. If we go to manage grades. So if you look at this real quick, we have our quiz breakdown 5%, discussion breakdown 20%, projects from text. This one will go up. Remember that, because we took away the lab simulations. 40. Oh, why can't I go down all the way? There we go. That boosted me over. But then we're going to go say lab, enter 0. So once again, for extra practice, if you want to do those labs, feel free to do them, but they don't really count towards your grade, not any longer, just because there could be that problem with your browser interacting with that. Make sure to get these projects in though, because they are now 40% of your grade. The lab simulations are still 20% of your grade. So just by doing those 3 things again, you should walk away from this class with an 80%. Final exam, 10%. So that one's a good chunk. Make sure you're applying yourself throughout this whole course. Let's see, Friday, just so that you guys are aware, I will start limited access with the internet. I go on vacation to help my mom. Well, I should say I go on vacation to help my mom move. I go help my mom move in South Dakota, starting the Friday. What is that? The 14th? Yeah, Friday the 14th, and I should be up there for at least until the 28th. So I'll be in a different location. The internet might sound a little garbled. If it's not the best quality, I'll simply make videos on my phone and then repost them up here so you guys have them. But yeah, sorry for the long video. I'll let you guys get busy for the week. And if you have any questions, send me an email.